Welcome to Dungeon Defenders 2, and to join us for this preview, we have, well, a well-known name amongst those of our channel. We have Calaf with me as our normal guest here. Hello, Calaf.
Hello, hello.
But
As you can see, I'm doing the stream version currently.
Yep, hopefully the stream has got it. Does look okay on the stream. But more important, we've got a special guest with us, and behind us, the monk is. We're going to call you pmasher or Philip.
Yeah, pmasher is good. How's it going, guys?
It's fantastic. So pmasher here, he works as a member of the Trendy Entertainment team. What's your role in Trendy?
So I'm marketing director at Trendy Entertainment.
Fantastic. So you're going to come along and show us this this game that you've just released pre-alpha, I guess. To the
Yep, we've opened up a limited number of seats to the Defense Council for people to buy into the pre-alpha and help us make the game great.
Fantastic. If you actually go to Dungeon Defenders 2 website, I do believe there's still copies available. Even though it's limited. Yep. Yeah.
Yep, we're about 50% sold out now, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, going well. So yeah, we are here today. It's not just to show off Dungeon Defenders 2, but more importantly, we're actually here to raise money for sick children through the Extra Life charity event. They basically raise money through the Children's Miracle Network, and they distribute money to hospitals to help some of the sickest children across America and Canada, and that's why we're here to raise money for the sick kids today. Hashtag for the kids. So without further ado,
yes.
I think we should probably get into the game and what's what, shall we?
Yeah.
Cool. So we've actually picked some characters up. I picked the Apprentice. This is from Vanilla Dungeon Defenders. Cal's picked the Squire, and you've picked the Monk. So we should be ready to find a game. Phil, where do you want us to start?
Yeah, let's go. Start.
Cool. It's working okay? I think it is, yeah. Cool. So yeah, we've loaded into the first level here, and oh, we see that different players changes the item chance here. There's the first message I get up on the screen.
Yep. Actually, you can have the item chance increases with up to 4 players. So the way to get the loot is to play with 4 players.
Fantastic. Also, I noticed that for the mana we go up to these chests, but instead of just the chest opening as before, we've got keys.
Yeah, so that's actually one of the systems that's going to change on our roadmap. But one of the things when we were developing Dungeon Defenders 2, we wanted to figure out how to make playing in cooperative matches more fun and fair. Because in the first game, often you might want to build stuff, but this is like our second or third pass at this, and we're about to take our 4th pass. But basically, we wanted to find out how can we distribute the resource of the game in a way where people who want to play can play, and then if you want to share your resource, you can also do that. So this is kind of.
Or maybe.
Oh, okay, interesting. Anyone want a cannon somewhere?
Setting up a bunch of ores in this lane, it might be good to put a cannon maybe up here.
Up where? Sorry, up where I'm standing, or?
Just
There's
where,
a giant flag.
where it's just pinged up on the top. You don't have to be as close this time,
Oh.
actually, Calaf. You can move your towers much further away from yourself than previously. It's actually easier to set up turrets than it was before.
Yeah, what do you guys think of the
Oh, yeah.
the new tower placement system?
Oh, it is much easier, especially like on previous versions of Dungeon Defenders. When a level got really busy, it was hard to get your character in the right place to get the defenses where you wanted. So this improves it massively. And on this level, you actually have like turrets almost pre-built into this level, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that was one of our
Go on, go for it.
big one of our big initiatives in this was doing the environmental traps and just having really fun ways that each level can be different.
Yeah, so over here we've got like an ice cart that you can use to freeze enemies, or over here, we've got a fire cart here that can burn enemies, and I believe they can combo in. So I think we're probably ready to call the first wave. It's pretty standard stuff in terms of the wave placement. Although I will say, the purple arrows for the direction where the mobs are going, so much better. Love it.
Awesome. Yeah. We try really hard to make make it really easy to read just in the level itself without the purple lines where the enemies are coming from, but it's just the extra reinforcement really helps.
It does, and I think it will allow you to free up later on when you're getting into like really big complex levels like you brought into later in Eternity and the regional defenders.
Yep.
That you can actually do more advanced things because of this system. Do you want to press G, Calaf, by the way? There we go.
So I'll
Certainly.
take top.
You'll take top. Shall I take middle?
I'm going to take what I like about this is that you can actually describe it by lanes. I think this is Market Lane or something over here.
Yep.
I think that shows it in the build phase. It's not showing up on the normal phase.
It does. If you press shift, you can actually get the more detailed
Oh wow, I never knew that. There we go. I'm learning something new from what I was playing and testing myself.
Yeah, that's one thing that I like to tell people when I'm playing with them. We actually don't say it in the game anywhere. But if you press shift, you can see the health of all your towers, you can see the range of all your towers. It's really kind of where all the information that cluttered the first game. We took everything that we thought was cluttering the game, and we threw it into the shift menu.
That's just opened up a whole brand new world for me. No, that's really great. The other thing that might become apparent for those that have seen Dungeon Defenders is that the mana system has changed quite a bit. Do you want to talk a little bit about the mana system?
Yeah, so I'll talk about it in kind of the same way I spoke about the chess system. One of our goals with Dungeon Defenders 2 was we wanted there to be equivalent action and tower defense. So we wanted players to be able to do both and to be able to pick which one they wanted to do. And one of the problems with the first game was that it was basically always optimal to place defenses and not use your abilities because they use the same resource pool. So what we tried to do in the sequel was split the resources, so there are actually two resources.
Yeah.
Defenses, so that way you never have to make a decision between, hey, do I want to place defenses or do I want to use abilities?
So yeah, now we're in the build.
We actually, though,
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say we do think we love people's feedback on the forums about the system. We do think that it's a little complicated, and we're always kind of in the back of our minds thinking about possibly just removing blue mana entirely. And we have some fun ideas, possibly as part of the hero revamps, to have interesting ways that each hero can gain their resource. Maybe similar to kind of how Diablo 3, each class has a different way which they gain their resource.
Oh, okay. One thing I should mention, because I think Calaf's used to the old way of building, is that Calaf, you've built two walls here to block this path, which you'll find is actually, if I'm right, this is unnecessary because they follow the purple line. So just one wall you'll find will actually block the path. It's quite spectacular in some of the wide open.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on a
Yep.
wide open map, you'll actually be able to just put one
Okay.
blocker down, and it blocks the whole wide gap for some levels. I'll put a wall up here. I think the apprentice.
Yeah, we kind
works a bit differently this time because it can explode or something after a while when it gets destroyed. Is that right?
Yeah, so what's fun about the apprentice wall is it's the apprentice is our only character that's gone through revamp, so his kit is very well defined. I can speak about it very well. He's like our AoE character, so everything that he does is centered around dealing AoE damage or AoE ability. All of his attacks, everything have splash damage. And what this arcane barrier does is actually kind of like an AoE wall, in the sense that it costs very little, and it goes up and down. So what you can do is you can actually place them in a line, and then you can place ores and traps and towers in between them. And what will happen is characters will kind of go up to one of them, stop for a little bit, then it will fall. Then they'll go up to the next one and stop for a little bit, and then it will fall. So it's kind of like a blockade over a range as opposed to just a blockade at one point.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's really cool. I'm going to play around with that because I've not touched much of the apprentice. I did a little bit of the Squire when I was playing, which is super fun, but it works. Well, besides the hero abilities which have changed, most of the standard defences work as you'd expect, but it's the actual character itself that's changed its abilities somewhat.
Yep, we did try to do some changes to the Squire, but we kept finding that his kit was so well defined in the first game that it's pretty hard to do that initially. I think we have a couple of interesting things that we want to add for him in the future when we do the revamp, though.
Yeah, for his active abilities, he has more like provoke tools, and when I was describing it yesterday to Malenko, it feels like there's a little bit of mash-up between the old barbarian and the old squire, kind of a little bit mashed together.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment. He definitely has more. All of the characters in general have more utility in terms of actually being able to fight in the combat phases of the game. The Squire, I'm not sure how far you leveled him, but he has his ground slam ability, which basically lets AoE stun and damage a large radius of enemies all around. And then he also has this provoke ability, like you mentioned, which not only lets him faster, but basically steals aggro from all enemies within a radius, which is obviously very useful in a tower defense game.
Or very dangerous when you're as dumb as me, as I killed myself a number of times using that ability, but you know, I'm still learning.
Well, that's kind of the thing. The fun is if you want to use that ability, you can really kind of grow your hero health stat, and then you can kind of be like a mobile wall and just aggro enemies away from the defenses, or the rest of the towers kill them.
Oh, you're finding the new ping system. What button was it? C? Yeah, so the new
It is indeed.
ping system's great. It's not just a basic ping anymore, though you've got that as an option. You can actually give instructions now, so if you don't have voice like we do, you can actually say, hey, can you, I don't know, repair this for me, and tell people to do that. Did I just mess it up? Maybe.
Yeah, the ping system worked out pretty well. I think I love it. There are obviously way more higher priorities than the ping system right now, but I really hope personally in the future we get to revisit it and kind of add some more visuals so you can kind of see like in world what people are asking you to do and stuff. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure for those that don't play with voice like we always do, that it's going to be really helpful. So, I think we've pretty much got.
I've started to upgrade some towers. I like the towers change when you upgrade them.
Yep.
don't they?
They all get more and more badass, and as you go through the game and level up, you'll unlock future upgrade levels for the different defenses, and they.
That's what I'm talking. Bigger cannons. Love it.
Caliph, do you want to hit the G?
You also know.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, sorry. It's it's the first time I've played it. I'm loving the animation aesthetics of this as well. It's really visually nice and easy and relaxing.
Thank you. Yeah, our team is world class. I think they just did a phenomenal job with everything.
Do you know what we said about it yesterday? We said they're no longer kids anymore. They've grown up.
Yeah, I think that says a lot actually about everything. And that was one of the ideas actually when we did the visual style update, is we're like, how can we make this feel like the original Dungeon Defenders, like the feelings it evoked, but be more grown up while retaining the cartoony aesthetic. So
Well, they've all.
kind of view this as like the teenager version.
Well, everyone's gone on a diet for one.
Yep.
But I guess running around these levels as much as they do, that's not too much of a surprise.
Yeah, they run so much faster now. I don't know if you guys remember how Dungeon Defenders 1, how slow it is when you start the game.
Yeah, we were.
We tried to make it so.
Yeah.
God, sorry.
I was gonna say we tried to make it so it felt like it started more in the middle of the first game in terms of like your character speed.
Yeah, one thing that we were saying when we were playing
Of the glacial pace of the first level.
Eternity was that it would be nice that perhaps there's a difference between the build phase and the combat phase for the player movement, because the build phase, especially for the big levels, can take quite a bit of time, and it's mostly running around picking up chests and not so much the placing of defences, but definitely this is more with the eye of like what happens in Eternity, especially when you go to like the Lost Shards levels. The levels are so massive that you spend so much time running around. Yeah, although there are a few shortcuts in some of the levels, it would be nice to have increased run speed.
Yeah, I think one of the goals just in general here was that we just wanted you to feel like you had control over your character movement and that it wasn't a restriction.
Although,
And then it depends.
are you going to bring the dash button back?
Ask on our defense council forums. It's definitely something that we want to do. It's not, like I said, it's not a high priority. There's a lot of more important things in the game that we know we need to work on. What we do have though is if you look at some of the characters, you can either find loot that increases their speed, or they have spec notes that increase their speed. Like the Huntress has run and gun, which if you level that thing up to max, I think I was showing people on the stream that we did on our channel on Twitch on Thursday, that you can just run absurdly fast. It's basically a spec that says when you shoot, your movement speed increases.
Oh wow, okay. That's like the opposite to what you'd expect of like say for a Huntress who would often do more damage if they stood still in sniper mode.
Yep, it's called run and gun, and it's pretty fun.
For some of these active abilities that aren't, we don't have much at the moment. I should actually show one off actually. Let me. Can't activate Arcane Volley. I wonder why. Am I missing? If I've not got enough mana to do it.
So Arcane Volley, you have to mark enemies first. So the Apprentice has a marking kind of, that's how his basic attack works. When you shoot things, they get this little blue thing over their head, and then his abilities interact with that blue thing. So Arcane Volley, you actually have to shoot enemies. You can shoot up to 5 enemies. You can increase that as you level up, and then you can right click and you'll shoot homing, or sorry, you can press 1, you'll shoot homing missiles towards all the enemies.
Cool. If the things weren't dying so quick, I'd show that off. We're being too efficient.
Yeah, too efficient, and also I'm playing with a down-leveled character, so it's kind of kind of powerful for this level.
Oh, one thing that personal question was what to do with the heroes. What's it called? Hero cards now. So it by instincts, when you look at it, you think, oh, there's only slots for 3 characters, but actually that's not the case at all. But yeah, how do the hero cards work? 'Cause I'm still a little confused about it.
So that's still a system that has a lot of work left to go into it. We don't exactly know where we're going to take it yet. The idea right now and the way it works right now is basically that you can create as many heroes as you want, but you can only bring 3 of them into battle. So if you're playing by yourself or you're playing with people, you basically have to choose which 3 heroes you want. The idea behind that is kind of in the first game, a lot of players would have everything. They'd have 2 of every hero. They'd have a DPS and they'd have a builder. And you jump in an online match with them, and they'd be like, "Well, you just sit here, and I will do everything." So in this game, you basically have to make a strategic decision of which 3 characters that you have that you've created that you want to bring into a match.
And I assume here you've got the Defender's Forge, which you can switch your characters as per usual, I guess. That's how you do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you can just walk up to this, and you can click on Hero Deck, and you can, as long as you set up your Hero Deck, you can click and swap any of the heroes.
Actually, I'm gonna
one
show
of
this on stream in a second, because I love this touch. It's something I noticed before. In Dungeon Defenders 1, when the level starts, the Defender's Forge disappears. Not anymore. When we start the level, you'll be able to watch it. It's such a beautiful touch. I love it. Kath, when you ready, hit G.
Yeah.
Aha!
Like, the whole thing shuts down and shrinks down. It's such a lovely... It's tiny, but I noticed it and I was just like, that's smooth. I like that.
Yeah, we were thinking about the first game. We're like, it makes no sense that it disappears. People are gonna forget where it is. So we wanted to keep it in world, while at the same time being able to show people that it's not activated, so you can't use it. Level 7, placing a healing aura right near the core. So if you need some heal.
Oh, excellent. So, what's traditional for us when we're recording is that we tell a story during the waves. So, if anyone watches our videos, we have this story of the wave idea that we do. So, I guess with that in mind, we're going to tell a very quick story of when we were playing Eternity not so long ago. And we were boasting about how easy a particular level was, and we said, look, it's not really our favourite level to our audience. We're just going to scream past this as fast as we can because we want to get to the really good levels afterwards. This one's going to be a bit of a grind fest for it. And immediately, not long after we said that, we totally screwed it up, turned the level around into being an absolute cluster mess. Sorry, I tried not to swear, but yeah, an absolute mess of stuff. And then suddenly the level became fun again because we'd screwed up, and now we're running around the level chasing down the mistakes that we were made. So yeah, that was just a fun story. I thought I'd share about getting too relaxed with the game and realising it can still kick your bum.
Yeah, I think I don't know how far you guys have gotten in DD2 yet, but it gets pretty challenging. I think way more than the first game or DDE does.
I think I got to
Cool.
maybe the 4th or 5th level, and I was already noticing that I am running around a lot more and far more active than I ever played in the originals. In a good way, like a really cool way.
Do you like that?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. one of the big challenges with one of the biggest, or I would probably say the biggest challenge in terms of developing Dungeon Defenders 2 is kind of how we strike that balance between tower defense and action, and we don't want people to be able to just AFK the game, but at the same time it's satisfying to look at your towers taking out enemies. So kind of there's a really it's obviously not there yet, but there's a lot of effort towards making it so if you set up the exact right thing, then you can if you like have the perfect strategy for the situation, then you'll be able to do that. And but
That's really cool.
other strategies you can use that are suboptimal, and you can make up for a suboptimal strategy with your heroes. So
Yeah, I like the idea of being a bit more active during the make phase and the difficult. The first one was good, and there was some difficult parts about it, but I thought the early stuff could have been a little bit more
should
difficult.
we show around the tavern?
yeah,
as
definitely.
Well, while we're in between levels, that would probably be worth doing.
Yeah.
So the tavern.
So you can. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I was gonna say I don't know if you noticed the tavern keep, but you can report bugs at him, which is a lot of fun.
I assume that won't stay as report a bug on release, and he'll change to something else. Although thematically it makes sense. You put up a bar stool and you complain, you know, about your worries of the world. You could act like a barfly here as you QQ about why you messed up in a game.
Exactly. And I kind of like that. I'd love for us to find a way to kind of keep. When we had this idea, we were like, "Oh, that's perfect." So I'd love for a way for us to keep kind of some.
Maybe if it isn't report a bug, then it could be a feedback system about players. You could talk to the barkeep effectively about like how cool a player was, or something, so that maybe it increase your matchmaking possibilities with them, or decrease it if they were a bad player.
That's actually a fantastic idea. We have a social score system, which is just like the early parts of it. But yeah, that's really cool. That could be a fun place to put that, or maybe you can see your like reputation when you talk to the tavern keep. He'll tell you what other players think about you, and you can let him know about other players.
Yeah. So that just came into my head as we were discussing it. So I thought that was cool. Then we've got the standard weapons shops. Right now, this is something that we were talking about as well, is the variety of weapons. Is that something you're going to bring back? Because there's like 101 weapon types in the original Dungeon Defenders, and not so much this time.
So I'm not sure what you're referring to exactly. Are you referring to art, or are you referring to kind of how a weapon behaves?
Often how a weapon behaves, like for like a hunter weapon, is it is it a missile launcher? Is it a grenade launcher? Is it a bow and arrow?
Is it a chicken thrower?
Yeah, so that's definitely something that's on our list to do in the future. I think that it's interesting because in the first game there was a lot of variety, but there was really only a lot of variety for the huntress. You notice every weapon that you called out was a huntress weapon. So we want to kind of think through and find a way where if we implement a system like that, it's something that allows us to have variety for all of the heroes, not just for one character class.
And there's a lot less armor and things in this game, although I will miss being able to dye up all my equipment and change my looks from Eternity. But yeah, you simplified the items somewhat.
Yep, and that's a system where I keep calling out to it, but we definitely want a lot of feedback from on the Defense Council forums. We don't know where exactly that's gonna end up yet. We we think that we want to have stats and cosmetics completely separated, but it's still something that is an active discussion, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done figuring out how, with that separation, we can make both loot and the kind of cosmetics game feel equally satisfying.